Steve, NASCAR over the last few years, most people know, has been through a pretty big slump. Sponsorships have been down, so has attendance, so have television ratings, but there's also a sense there's been a certain resiliency. Can you tell us, now that we're down to the last couple of races of 2011, how has the year been for you? Has that been the case?
It's actually been a great year for the sport overall. If you look at the numbers, I mean, even through the downturn, we remain the #2 most watched sport on television behind the NFL. But what we've seen this year is, because of a lot of the initiatives that NASCAR has taken, the teams have taken, you've really seen the numbers start to trend up again. Our TV numbers are up 10% overall, up about 24% in the 18 to 34 male category. And if you look at us on a weekly basis, we've still got almost 7 million viewers per race, over 100,000 people in attendance on average in these races. It's just they're massive numbers of followers. And so I think we're really seeing a lot of the fruits of some of the stuff that NASCAR has done over the last few years to try to make the sport more exciting, more fan-friendly.
What are some of the creative things you've done marketing-wise to keep the sport valuable for fans and for sponsors during the recession?
What we look at on a daily basis is how can we add additional value to our sponsors? How can we integrate their brands into everything that we do and capitalize on the loyalty of our fans? And so a few of the things that we've done that have been off the track, we recognize that all the marketers in this country are now focused very significantly on return on investment. And so we package in part of our sponsorship deals a relationship with IAG, one of the world's leading sponsorship measurement services. We're very confident that when you look at the numbers based on the loyalty of the NASCAR fan base, that you do generate positive return on investment. And so we're trying to put measurement tools in place to show that. We've also obviously looked in the social media world. We've got a campaign around two of our young drivers, Ricky Stenhouse and Trevor Bayne, who won the Daytona 500. They have a Ricky vs. Trevor website where they engage in friendly competitions. It also gives us an opportunity to showcase sponsors through that. We've got a television show that's weekly in the Northeast on the New England Sports Network, where again we focus on inside Roush Fenway, how a race team operates, but use that opportunity to allow the sponsors to get their message across to an audience that's throughout the Northeast and that's outside of maybe the racetrack.
How much does the name Fenway in your team matter? Is that a big advantage?
Where the name comes in is, I think it denotes success and a winning tradition, and that matches up. Jack Roush has been in the sport for 24 years. John Henry has been very successful in running the Red Sox and now Liverpool. And so I think when we married those two names, those two brands in 2007, it gave us a great platform to go out and talk to sponsors about stability, about the idea that that every decision that's made in the organization is made with an eye towards, does this make the car go faster on the track, and will this help our sponsors use these assets to promote their brands? And so I do think it's been a big help to us.
You still have a couple of years to go on your current television deal. Some sports business folks say when renewal time comes in 2014, the number's going to go down. What do you think?
The networks and the cable companies are looking for content, and this is great content. It's TiVo-proof in a lot of sense for advertisers, and so I think that as the numbers continue to go up and people, there's a recognition of the kind of the breadth and depth of the exposure you get through these events, that you'll continue to see a very robust TV contract for NASCAR.
Sports is sort of like politics. I mean, how do you navigate, holding on to your base and catering to your base while still trying to expand the appeal beyond the base?
Part of it is just doing a better job of educating folks from our end, because actually the perception that you mentioned, I think, is one that's held, but it's actually, if you look at the statistics and the numbers, our fan base actually indexes almost exactly with the U.S. population. So you look at the U.S. Census, when you look at the number of fans in the Northeast or the number of fans with incomes over 50,000, we match up very well. It's not consolidated in a certain region. And I think that's borne out when you look at the races where they are geographically. We're all over the country, from Chicago to Boston to Phoenix this weekend. And so, as with any sport, you want to continue to appeal to your base and to the folks who have traditionally followed, and you want to try to expand. But I think that if you look at where our appeal is, it really is nationwide.
Okay.